Have you ever stood at the edge of something you desperately wanted? Ready, eager, certain, and yet nothing moved? No sign, no shift, and no open door. Just stillness. That kind of moment has a way of testing even the most faithful heart. We often call it delay. But delay is a word we've chosen to describe something we don't yet understand. The truth is, in a universe built on perfect order, where planets never collide and seasons arrive without fail, there are no true delays. Only alignments not yet visible to our eyes. We think of time as linear, a straight path from effort to reward, action to result. But life doesn't move like that. It spirals, it weaves, it dances, and in that dance, timing is everything. The fruit does not ripen because we command it to. It ripens because all things, sun, soil, water, and time, have conspired in harmony. So when something you long for doesn't arrive, it's not because the universe has denied you. It's because it's still being prepared, or you're still being prepared to receive it. We've been taught to hustle, to force, to rush, to believe that delay is a sign of failure, weakness, or worse, divine neglect. But what if the delay is not punishment, but precision? What if, while you're staring at the closed door, the path ahead is being cleared of things you cannot see? What if the very pause you resent is the one thing saving you from walking into something you're not yet equipped to handle? When we trust divine timing, we begin to realize that what looks like stagnation may, in fact, be sacred orchestration. We are part of something vast and intelligent, a cosmic mechanism in which every soul, every moment, every motion has meaning. It's on time according to a rhythm older than your breath, that the river does not rush to reach the ocean. It flows, adjusting, adapting, surrendering to the land that shapes it. And yet, it always arrives. So do you. And here's something worth considering. Perhaps the very things you've been chasing are only meant to find you after you've become the version of yourself who can carry them with grace. That's not delay. That's destiny. Waiting for your becoming.c, success. True success isn't born from speed. It's born from alignment. When desire, belief, and purpose are in harmony, what you seek begins to seek you. But when we act out of impatience, we push against the natural flow. And in doing so, we often miss the miracles that only stillness can reveal. You are not forgotten. You are precisely where you are meant to be, even if it doesn't feel like it yet. And the discomfort you feel, that is your soul stretching into the shape it needs to hold the blessing that's already on its way. So the next time you feel delayed, remember this: life is not late, it is layered. And every layer is building you quietly, gently, powerfully into the person who can meet their moment when it arrives. There are no delays in a mind aligned with purpose. Only appointments perfectly kept by the hand of time. Have you ever found yourself wondering why the things you work for, pray for, even cry for, seem to arrive so slowly? Oh, sometimes not at all. You plan, you prepare, you show up with everything you've got, and yet the door you've been knocking on stays shut. Not forever, just longer than you expected. And it's in that waiting, those long, quiet stretches of a not yet, that something subtle starts to happen. Doubt creeps in, not just about the dream, but about yourself. You start to ask, is it me? Did I miss the sign? Am I behind? But what if I told you that you are not behind? What if I told you that every delay you faced wasn't a detour, but a deliberate part of your design? You see, we're trained to think in straight lines. The goal, effort, result. It's what we've been taught. But life isn't linear. It folds in on itself like a great story, rich with nuance, mystery, and timing far more precise than any clock we've built. There is a rhythm to existence. A tempo that we often miss because we're too focused on results and not enough on resonance. You may not always see it, but the universe has never been random. Look closely at nature. There is a perfect unfolding in everything. A tree does not rush to bear fruit. It stands through seasons, unseen work taking place in its roots long before anything appears above the surface. No one doubts the tree. We accept its timing. And yet we rarely extend the same grace to ourselves. When we speak of delay, what we're really talking about is our discomfort with divine timing. We feel out of control. We want the answer now, the breakthrough today. But some things can only arrive after you've grown the capacity to hold them. A seed planted too early in frozen ground will not flourish. It will perish, not because it wasn't good, but because the timing wasn't right. So too with your dreams. So too with your destiny. Tragedy. You are not waiting because life is punishing you. You are waiting because life is preparing you for the weight of what you've asked for the responsibility that comes with the reward. Delay is not denial. It is development in disguise. And here's something else I've learned. What we call delay is often protection. How many times have we begged for something only to later realize that if it had arrived when we wanted it, it would have overwhelmed us, or worse, distracted us from the path we were meant to walk? The wisdom of delay is this. Sometimes the thing you think you want must wait until you become the person who can steward it well. We don't often see the full picture from where we stand, but the view changes with elevation. Life is always working behind the curtain, aligning the right people, the right resources, the right moments, not just for your gain, but for your growth. So when things stall, when progress halts, don't just ask, why is this happening to me? Ask instead, what does this make? You are not idle in the waiting. You are being shaped. Every delay carves something essential into your character. Patience, humility, endurance, vision, and most of all, trust. Trust that you are a part of something vast and intentional, that even your pauses have purpose. Understand this. The universe is not withholding your good. It is holding it in place until you are ready to receive it, not just with open hands, but with open mind and a prepared spirit. You are not running out of time. You are running into alignment, and when the moment comes, because it will come, you'll look back at the delay and realize it was not an interruption in your journey. It was the very path that brought you to yourself. There is no such thing as delay to the one who understands that time, properly used, is merely life arranging itself on your behalf. We live in a world that glorifies movement, constant action, relentless forward motion. We're told that if you're not making visible progress, you're falling. If you're not building, producing, achieving, then you must be wasting time. But real life, doesn't always move in straight lines or loud victories. Sometimes it stands still. And in those moments of stillness, those spaces we often mislabel as delay or stagnation, something far deeper is taking place. Not outside of us, but within. That stillness is not empty. It's full of quiet transformation, full of sacred preparation. You may not feel it, and you certainly won't see it on the surface, but your soul is being shaped in the silence. Think of the caterpillar. Long before it becomes a butterfly, it disappears into a cocoon. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. But on the inside, its entire identity is being remade. It doesn't fight to be seen. It doesn't rush to emerge. It surrenders to the stillness, because that stillness is doing the sacred work, and so must we. There will be seasons when doors don't open, when plans stall, when answers don't arrive, no matter how fervently we ask. It's easy to believe something's gone wrong, that God has turned away. But what if, instead, we begin to see those seasons as necessary? Not as punishment, but as preparation. Life doesn't delay what you're meant to have. It builds who you must become to hold it. Stillness doesn't mean you've lost your power. It means your power is being refined. It means you're being brought back to center, reminded of what truly matters. Because it's only in stillness that we hear the quiet voice, the one that's drowned out by noise, by pressure, by the need to prove. That voice isn't shouting at you to move faster. It's whispering for you to come deeper. In our stillest moments, our roots grow. And roots don't grow in the light. They grow in the dark, beneath the surface, out of sight. If you only measure your progress by what others can see, you'll miss the miracles happening in silence. The soul's most meaningful transformations often occur far from the applause, far from the spotlight. When you're alone, when you're unsure, when everything in you wants to force a way forward, but you choose instead to listen, to wait, to trust. Every master, every great creator, every soul who has the life of purpose has known this. Before the leap, there is the pause. Before the harvest, there is the hidden season. Nothing great is born without stillness, and yet we resist it. We begin to believe the silence means we've been forgotten. But silence is not absence. It's alignment. It's life organizing things beyond your view. It's the quiet before revelation, the breath before creation. What's being formed in you during the still seasons will one day serve you in ways you cannot yet imagine. The discipline you're learning now, the patience you're forced to practice, the trust you're growing through hardship, it's all building a foundation that no storm can shake. So when the time comes and the door does open, you will not walk through it unsure or unsteady. You will walk in full of knowing, full of strength, full of peace. The world will only see the moment you rise, but you'll remember the hours you spent rooted in the stillness, becoming. So don't despise the quiet. Don't curse the pause. Sit with it, breathe with it, learn from it. Because in the silence you are not being punished, you are being prepared. True power is not forged in noise, but in the quiet certainty of one who has been shaped by stillness and is now ready to rise. We've all been there, moving forward with confidence, believing we're on the right path, only to be met with a sudden obstacle or an unexpected change in direction. A door closes, a plan unravels, a relationship ends, something shifts, and everything you thought was certain, unclear. And in those moments, it's easy to believe you've made a mistake, that you've somehow stepped off course. But let me offer you something different. What if the detour wasn't a mistake at all? What if it was the plan all along? You see, life rarely gives us a straight line from where we are to where we want to be. And that's not because it's cruel or chaotic. It's because growth, real, meaningful growth, doesn't happen in a straight line. It happens in the curves, the bends, the unexpected turns. It happens in the detours. We are conditioned to chase efficiency, to crave immediate results, to avoid anything that looks like delay or deviation. But the soul isn't built in efficiency. It's built in experience. And experience comes not from getting everything you want when you want it, but from learning who you are when the road changes beneath your feet. What we call a detour is often a divine redirection, one that leads us not away from our purpose, but deeper into it. Sometimes the shortest path to your goal is not the one that gets you there the fastest, the one that builds the strength, character, and clarity you'll need once you arrive. You may not see it yet, but life is doing more than just guiding your steps, shaping you as you walk. When the road twists, it asks something of you. It asks for trust. It asks for surrender. It asks for the humility to say, I don't know where this leads, but I believe it has meaning. That kind of faith doesn't come from ease. It's forged in the fire of uncertainty. It's built when everything in you wants to turn back, but you choose to take one more step forward anyway. We often fear detours because they take us away from what we had planned. But plans are just guesses dressed up as certainty. Purpose, certainty. Purpose, on the other hand. It breathes. It adapts. Okay. It knows things you haven't learned yet, and it will often lead you through places that seem wrong in the moment, only to reveal later that those very places were necessary. Think about it. How many times in your life have you looked back and realized that what felt like a setback was actually a setup? That the relationship that ended created space for one that truly aligned with your spirit? That the job you didn't get opened the door to something far better? That the failure, the loss, the heartbreak, it didn't destroy you. It made you. Every twist in the road, every detour is a thread in the fabric of your becoming. You are not moving aimlessly. You are being led by a hand that sees further than your eyes can reach. And sometimes the detour isn't about the destination at all. Sometimes it's about who you meet along the way, the lessons you learn, the inner strength you uncover, the parts of yourself you find in the dark, when the map no longer makes sense and all you have is trust. Do not curse the detour. Honor it. Embrace it. It is evidence that life is not ignoring your prayers. It's answering them in ways your mind hasn't caught up with yet. You're not lost. You're being led. So the next time the path shifts, the next time something falls apart that you were sure was meant to stay, breathe. Take the step. Follow the turn. Because what looks like a detour is often the direct path to your destiny, just wearing the disguise of difficulty. The road may twist, but to the one who walks with faith, no step is ever wasted, and no detour is ever wrong. There's a peculiar thing that happens in life when progress slows and answers seem far away. When doors don't open, when opportunities dry up, and when all your movement turns into waiting, it's natural to start feeling forgotten. You begin to wonder if you've missed the window, if perhaps your time has passed. But the truth is, those periods of waiting are not empty. They are some of the most powerful moments you will ever live through. Because when life slows on the outside, something far greater is beginning to stir on the inside. We often speak of clarity as something we gain by doing, by moving forward, by making progress, by checking off goals. But the deeper kind of clarity, the kind that anchors purpose, realigns your values, and reveals the path you were truly meant to walk, that clarity is born in stillness. It doesn't arrive when everything is going your way. It arrives in the quiet. In the pause between chapters, when the noise fades and the world stops demanding your attention. Waiting is not wasted time. It's sacred time. It's the time where the inner world begins to wake up. When the distractions fall away and the deeper questions rise to the surface. Who am I, really? Or what do I truly want? What do I believe when nothing is certain? You don't always get those answers when you're busy achieving. You get them when you're still, when life has given you the uncomfortable but necessary gift of space. And yes, waiting can feel like being stuck. But here's the truth. What feels like a delay may actually be divine pacing. You are being slowed down not to frustrate you, but to help you see more clearly. It's in those slower rhythms that your spiritual sight sharpens. When you're no longer relying on what you see with your physical eyes, you're forced to look deeper, to trust your intuition, your instincts, that quiet voice within that doesn't shout, but speaks with unwavering calm, and every season of waiting is an invitation to go inward, to listen more closely, to learn how to hear the whispers of your own soul. And once you can hear those whispers, something beautiful happens. Your decisions stop being driven by fear or pressure or comparison. They start coming from alignment, from wisdom, from a knowing that can't be shaken by circumstance. Think about the times you made rushed decisions just to escape the discomfort of waiting. What did they lead to? Temporary relief, maybe. But lasting peace, lasting fulfillment? Probably not. That's because true direction doesn't come from the outside in. And you only access that direction when you're willing to be still long enough to hear it. You don't need to have all the answers right now. You don't need to map out every step of the road ahead. Sometimes all you need is the courage to pause, to breathe, and to allow the clarity to emerge. It will come not as a lightning bolt, but as a gradual unfolding, a quiet recognition, a gentle confirmation that, yes, you are still on the path, even if it doesn't look like progress to anyone else. And let's be honest. This world moves fast. It praises speed and glorifies the grind. But speed without direction is just movement. It's motion without meaning. And what we're after isn't just progress, it's purpose. So let the world rush if it must. You, on the other hand, are learning to move with intention, with vision, with faith that out you're not waiting because you're weak. You're waiting because you're wise. You understand that the seed must stay in the soil long enough to develop roots before it ever reaches for the sun. They are being formed right now in the questions, in the quiet, in the stillness that's calling you to trust something deeper than sight. So the next time life slows you down, don't resist it. Let it teach you. Let it teach you. Let it guide you. Let it clear the fog, not just from the road ahead, but from your own reflection. Because when clarity rises from within, no outside confusion can shake you. The most powerful vision is not the one seen with the eyes, but the one revealed in the stillness of waiting, where purpose begins to speak. There's a certain ache that comes with watching others move forward while you remain in place. You see them achieving, celebrating, rising, while you feel stuck in a chapter that seems to have no end. And it's in those moments when you're tempted to compare your timing to theirs, that doubt creeps in like a whisper. Maybe you missed your moment. Maybe you're not enough. Maybe your time is over. But that's the illusion of comparison. It convinces you that life is a race and time is a thief. It distorts the truth because the truth is this. Your path was never meant to match anyone else's. You were not born to copy another's rhythm. You were born to discover your own. And that rhythm, though it may move more slowly than others, is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of divine precision. Every person is walking a unique journey shaped by their own purpose, their own lessons, their own unfolding. Trying to compare your season to someone else's is like judging a winter tree for not blooming in January. You wouldn't do that, would you? You understand that trees bloom when it's their time. The same applies to you. In fact, the pressure to catch up often leads people away from their truth. They abandon the quiet, sacred pace of their own growth to chase what looks impressive from the outside. But what's impressive is not always what's aligned. You can build fast and still feel empty. You can achieve quickly and still lack peace. True success isn't about how soon you arrive. It's about who you become along the way. And here's where faith comes in. Not faith that things will always go your way, but faith that even when they don't, life is still moving for you, not against you. That what seems delayed is actually arriving on a timeline too wise to rush. Trusting that your journey, even with its pauses and detours, is not broken, it's intentional. When you let go of the need to match someone else's timing, something powerful begins to happen. You start to listen to your own soul again. You stop measuring your worth by milestones and begin honoring the quiet victories, the strength it takes to keep believing, the courage it takes to keep showing up, the grace you give yourself when nothing is certain. These are the things that build a life of substance. There's a phrase I've come to believe with every fiber of my being. What is meant for you will not miss you. It may take longer than you imagined. It may not look the way you expected. But if it belongs to your purpose, it will arrive. And when it does, it will fit not because you forced it, but because you were ready. So let others run ahead. Let them bloom in their season. Celebrate them without questioning your own pace, because your time will come. And when it does, it won't be late. It will be right on time. Don't underestimate what's happening in the waiting. You may not see it, but life is arranging things behind the curtain. People, opportunities, revelation. And not just to bless you, but to prepare you for the blessing. To ensure that when your moment arrives, you'll be ready, not desperate, not doubtful, but steady, grounded, and clear. And here's the beauty of divine timing. It doesn't just give you what you've been waiting for. It gives you the eyes to recognize it and the heart to receive it fully. You won't have to chase what's yours. You'll align with it. You'll rise into it. And it will feel like coming home to something that had your name on it all along. So if you're waiting, wait well. Wait with faith. Wait with expectancy, not anxiety. Trust your timing. It is not late. It is not lacking. It is leading you precisely, powerfully, patiently into everything meant for you. What is yours is never truly delayed. It is simply being ready for the version of you who's prepared to receive it. There comes a point in every journey where things no longer make logical sense. You've done the work. You've stayed the course. You've been patient. And yet, nothing. Just a lingering silence that feels heavier by the day. That's the moment, right there, when most people give up. Not because they're weak, but because they've been taught to rely only on what they can see. But the truth is, the most transformative steps you'll ever take are the ones you take in the dark. Faith is not required when the road is clear. It's needed when the way is hidden, when the map you've been following runs out and all you have left is a whisper deep inside telling you, keep going. That whisper may not come with proof, but it comes with power. Because in that moment when everything around you says to stop, but something within you says to believe, that's when the soul stretches. That's when the real growth begins that life. In its infinite wisdom, doesn't hand you the blueprint all at once. It gives you the next step. And then the next. It invites you to move not because you see the whole staircase, but because you trust that the next step will appear when your foot touches the ground. It is in that movement, blind, bold, beautiful, that purpose is forged. So many people live their lives in waiting rooms of their own design, paralyzed until conditions are perfect. They wait for clarity, for confidence, for everything to feel safe and certain. But that's not how destiny works. Destiny doesn't wait for guarantees. It waits for obedience.